You know, it's really exciting for this football team, for the seniors to get a win on senior day. Very proud for them that they'll have that memory, that they got a W on the last home game. It gives us a lot of motivation. You know, we need to win one on the road. We need to go into Dallas next week and play SMU and play really well. This football game, that was, you know, it was unbelievable, the consistency that really the defense played with. You know, didn't give up a lot of yards. Most of the running yards were on third and long when we were in two-man, and that's the weakness of that coverage, is where if we don't make a play at the line of scrimmage and the quarterback scrambles, he's going to get some yards. So, you know, that's the risk reward with that one. You know, was very excited for Scott Solomon to get his second sack. I think that tied him for the school record. Needs one more going into the last bowl game. And I know single season, I think that puts him at 9.5. But I thought defensively we played, you know, did some really nice things. Still got confused once in man coverage. We'll have to look at and try to determine how that happened. I thought our special teams played exceptionally well. I thought Kyle Martin's punted the ball well. I thought Chris Boswell was unbelievable with his kickoffs and his field goals and the one punt that he did have, and we covered the ball well. Offensively, you know, tried hard to establish a running game, couldn't really get it going other than, you know, Mr. Consistent Tyler Smith. You know, you put the ball in his hands enough, he's going to make some great things happen. And coming up in that fourth quarter, he played really big for us. So I don't believe we had any turnovers on the game. Is that correct, MK? I can't think of any. I hadn't talked to Chuck Poole. I know we had 2 from them with the opportunity to get 4. So we won a turnover battle and had some big plays in there to get out of here with a win and, you know, 4-1 at home. That's nice, with an opportunity to go get a 5th.
The sequence where you call the timeouts when they were pinned inside their 10,
Mm-hmm.
how much of that is based on the fact you have such a weapon in Boswell and you know?
Completely based on that, because we, you know, when we daggered, the wind was gusting at that point, but he had told us Thursday when we finish practice, the last thing we do is he kicks a 60 to a 65 yarder when we leave the field. And, you know, when we called the dagger, the winds was gusting, it died down, knowing we had him right there if we could get a chance to pin him, that we felt pretty confident that he could knock it through, even if there was, you know, some gust. And he answered the bell twice into the wind.
David, after you guys had taken, I guess it was 13-7, and you punted the ball back, they get it back with a chance. I think there's like 5 minutes left, and then Solomon gets a stop, and then Justin Allen gets a stop. Can you just kind of talk about that sequence and what your defense did late there?
Yeah, you don't want just to rise up and make those plays, and you see the guys that have made plays for us all year, the seniors like Scott and Justin Allen. You know, that's the reason we kept them out of the end zone there, got the ball back. But you're just proud for Scott for all he's been through, you know, that he's tied that record. And if you ask him, he doesn't care about that record. He didn't want to talk about it. You know, he just wants to win, and he wants to win for the guys around him. And I think Justin's the same way. But those are you count on those guys to step up and make those plays, and that's what they did.
It doesn't always work out that way, but your 3 best performances, offense and the defense, and one of each was a senior. I mean, can you talk about this, what those guys have meant to you? Because you recruited them and you've kind of watched them both go through some injury situations and how the day they have today.
I tell you what they mean to me when you walk into a home like Scott Solomon's 5 years ago, and you know, you promise they're young men, and you promise that family you're going to be an extension of them, and then you watch them turn into men. You know, Scott's going to graduate here in December, so I think everything that Scott and I talked about 5 years ago has come true for him. We'd have liked to have gone to another bowl game, but everything we visited about, I believe he's kept his word completely and gave it his all, and this coaching staff's done the same thing. And, you know, he's going to get a shot to continue playing, and that's pretty good for a skinny little red-haired kid. Came here from San Antonio with, you know, he was highly recruited. He had one offer. It was the right one.
There's so much uncertainty, though, with him that when he got hurt, you know, I wonder how he's going to come back. But the fact that he came back, he's played through some things this year, and still has a shot at at the NFL. I mean, that says a lot.
He's played through some injuries this year that I don't know of anybody else on this football team. I don't know a lot of people in the country that could. That he's pushed through and just continues to perform at a high level. It was he felt as good last week in practice as he's felt since the Purdue game. So, and that's why he's starting to make the plays. And if you noticed, he was making plays early in the game and then they'd tail off, and that's just because he would stress out. He had an ankle he was playing on, then it was both ankles, and then it was knee. None of them career-ending. Is where the doctors told him if you can tolerate it, you can go, and he did.
Same thing with Tyler, though. I mean,
Tyler Smith's been.
He's on the brink of 1,000 yards, and that's hard to fathom considering what happened here in 2007. I think.
Yeah, that's another one. And I mean this. You absolutely pull so hard for these young men, and that's where they put their heart and soul in it. The coaching staff puts their heart and soul in it, and that's where I know my commitment to this bunch of seniors. It doesn't end when they graduate. It's a commitment that will last for a lifetime, and that's where Tyler Smith and Scott and the relationship changes with those seniors. Where now we're going to invite them back to alumni events, and they're going to be at golf tournaments, and they're going to come back like James Casey and go to the basketball games. And this senior class, I know this will go out and be great ambassadors for this university and this football program. But MK, you do, and it's a word, you fall in love with them, and they're your own.
Coach, it's not about the game. I was wondering if you could, one of your former players, Chase, is going to get a tryout.
How cool, how great
with
is
the
that?
Texans on Monday. Just, I know he hasn't had a chance, but it's still a big deal to
Well, I tell you what, he called me right after he got the call from the Texans, and he and I had a pep rally for about 10 minutes on the phone for him to get that type of opportunity. That's what he's been, that's what he has been living for. What's what he needs is one opportunity in the NFL, and I'm glad it was the Houston Texans that have opened the door for him to do that. But he's some kind of excited when he found out. And I bet he's probably got a blister on his index finger from dialing all his friends to let him know that opportunity is finally coming his way. Extremely proud of him, and that's what he needs. Look, he's been the MVP of the league. He deserves that type of opportunity because all that young man has ever done is win and produce, and he does it with class, he does it with style, and I think now too, given this opportunity with the Texans, if he makes it, and I think Gary will give him a good look, but it makes him more viable. I think now at all the other NFL franchises also that they better take a look at it.
Thanks.
Who's next?